Welcome, Domonique Foxworth Show. I'm Domonique Foxworth, and we got Charlie Kravitz. That's a classic tennis fist pump from Charlie Kravitz. He's very excited because we got another Charles on today, Charles McDonald. Welcome to the show. Yeah, he always carries a racket around with him. He's always ready.
I got a few bats around me right now, but they're just sitting on my dining room table.
Yeah, this is a new setup. Usually when I come on, you guys are in the studio, but we're getting a little personal look at you guys.
Yeah. Get up in the crib, the studio, occupado, and it's my fault. Last minute trip plan, we had to cram in some recordings. Charlie is nice enough to not make me feel guilty about it, but I feel bad. Thank you for joining us. It should be fun because the vibes are high.
The vibes are high
on this show. Charlie, what you got a big grin on your face.
It's because Dominique's like, Charlie's nice enough to not roast me about this last minute recording. It's because I knew that Domonique felt bad enough that he's willing to do things like a vibe draft and listing of breakout candidates. The ideas that he would absolutely roast me for in a different setting. But I was able to jam it through. We pushed this one over the line.
Hold on. Let's be clear. I completely bought in.
Oh yeah,
on both the breakouts. You said have 3, had like 8 of them things.
It's true.
You said have a vibe draft. I spent like 3 hours putting together an intricate scoring process so that I could figure out which teams had the highest and the lowest vibes scientifically.
What were your criteria?
Okay. I was about to say on a similar note. It's funny because recently people have been asking like, "Hey, could you do something for me real quick?" Like, man, I ain't got a job. I got yeah. All I've done like since May is watch the World Cup and took a little trip to Europe last week. I could do the podcast. So vibes draft, vibes are good. The vibes are high, and also it's just another way to kill the time until I can actually tell people when I start working again. But this is exactly what I'm looking for. You know.
Well, we know the secret. Congratulations. We won't tell anybody until you're ready, but you guys better all go over and enjoy and appreciate where Charles is going next. It's a secret. I can't tell you.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, it is going to be great, and I plan on being involved in some capacity, and I'm sure I will be. So how do we do the vibes draft, Charlie? Do we draft? Full disclosure, before this show started, I'd already done all the prep. I was like, how about we just do I do my top 3 and my bottom 3 vibes. We have Charles do the same thing. You do yours and Charlie. Appalled.
I did a vibes ranking of all 32 teams.
I did too.
Oh boy.
Not doing that work for nothing. But here's the thing. I ranked my vibes by vibes. I want to hear about your scientific system because yours is...
So I was trying to rank mine I ranked it by vibes too. But
rank the vibes.
I was just like flowing with the vibes, and then I was having a hard time. So I started to try to figure out what I think makes up a team's vibe. So then I made 5 categories, 3 of which have a 5-point scoring system, 2 of which have a 3-point scoring system. And then you accumulate all the points, and at the end you end up with a vibe score. And so it helped me give a ranking. And then there's a wild card slot that I had that I would throw in some points, some subtracted points, some added points to kind of level out vibes that I feel like didn't add up right.
So will you give us a vibe score, what your total score is for each team when you pick?
Yeah, I can. You want me to start at the top or start at the bottom?
So
I know. Okay. I'll give the score as we go.
This is awesome. Yeah, and he wanted to just do the top and bottom. We got to hear all of these.
Yeah, see, like I was a little bitter for the past couple of months, so I completely unplugged. My prep is like remembering the 32 teams in general. You know.
Well done. I hope you got them all. Well, I would like to let you know that the one team that you are representing no longer in the league.
That's right. That's why it's safe to wear.
Yeah, the Oilers.
I like wearing this still around because when I used to read on the newspaper, I mistakenly wore a Falcons hat one day, and they were like, "Hey, yeah, you can't do that." So now I just wear like defunct teams when I'm doing stuff like this.
Well, the team that is currently in Houston, it was one of the more difficult vibe teams for me to come up with.
Seesaw. It's a seesaw.
Yeah, they're like right in the middle, and there's only like 3 or 4 teams that I had to add or subtract some points to, but my final vibe score for the and the max score is 21, is the most vibe points you can have. The final vibe score for the Houston Texans, kind of middle of the pack, was a 14 of the vibe score. And that had to be adjusted because it was higher. It was 16. And I was like, no, it's just not true. They just don't have a 16 vibe right now. It's a great team, great defense. This C.J. Stroud business is looming, baby. The C.J. Stroud business is looming. The O-line is still the O-line. And I know that going into camp they're high in energy, intense. We love defense. D'Amico Ryan, the vibes are high, but they can't pretend that the expectations aren't high and that the C.J. Stroud end of the season and the questions are there. Everybody's thinking about it. -2 in the wild card slot. Go from 16 to 14, middle of the pack vibes.
This is funny because I had them 6th on my ranking at the end. I wonder what our biggest discrepancies are. Just
You got
because
them 6 as like 6 from the top.
6 from the top being their major downside was the way that C.J. Stroud walked into camp. That was like the biggest thing, the biggest attractor of their
How do you walk
vibes.
into camp? Like I need this.
He walks like
explaining
me.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not great.
It was rough.
So, yeah, that didn't inspire confidence. But
okay.
with that said, they have an identity. They have the defense from the movie The Program, and they returned all 11 starters, plus brought in the second best, white safety from the Eagles, plus drafted an extra run-stuffing defensive tackle. Like they have such a distinct identity, and like D'Amico's a coach that I would go to war with. That I bumped them up. Plus, maybe we're overacting a little bit to Stroud's.
I'm shocked
In the playoffs.
This is shocking because I've been defending Stroud, but I recognize that there is some questions about him. You've been a little bit more out on Stroud. It feels like,
Yeah.
And the vibe.
Charles,
isn't
we call
about,
him Stroud on this show because of what he did in the
come on.
Patriots game.
we do not call him.
Who's we? That sounds like a you. Maybe you're throwing everybody else on the new.
We win as a team, you lose as a team.
You're right.
Right.
Yeah, that's what we call him. All right.
Look, I'm still in on CJ because I thought that last year overall was a pretty good year for him until it wasn't. Right, because during the regular season he was putting up efficiency numbers that were higher than his rookie year, even though the raw box score numbers were a little down. And then the problem is it's just undeniably one of the worst games that I've ever seen any quarterback play. And I think CJ would agree with you on that because he was trashing himself after that game. And I think he's very aware that he's going into the season with some doubt. But I think when you look at the whole season, if you can just block a little bit, block out that divisional game to a degree, you can say the whole course of the season it was not that bad. But it ended with the worst possible way, and that is it's hard to forget how bad he was in that game.
It was unbelievable.
Drop the F-bomb, yeah.
If they you can curse. If they had punted on first down, they would have been better in that Patriots game. But genuinely, I thought it was interesting, Domonique, that I Charles, I thought a lot of the football literati and a lot of the football experts would have him in a similar way that you did. And then you see the Mike Sando poll from executives, the 50 executives and coaches, and they had Stroud 20th, which is actually lower than I thought he was going to be for the totality of what he was last season.
20th. Wow.
Yeah.
So to be clear, we remember the last game because they lost it. He was
Yes.
bad in the
Both of them.
Steelers game also, but
Yes.
the defense just was so good, and they almost did it in the Patriots game too. So that ending was pretty rough, but I guess. While I still believe in him and I still just think this team is very good, I don't think last year was exciting expectation. What can we be? Oh my gosh, we're really good. This season, there's real expectations over this team, and there's a real question mark around the most important player, and that has to have some sort of impact. I think generally this team feels great, it's exciting, it's fun, but heading into this, even if they believe in him, and I'm someone who believes in him, I feel a little shaky about the vibes.
Yeah. I guess my thing is the AFC's a bloodbath, and I still wouldn't be shocked if this team is playing in the Super Bowl.
Of course not.
I
but
think
we're not talking about that. This is a different thing. You're doing power rankings or you're doing vibes?
No, but that's
What's
good
it feel
vibes. That's good vibes when you're when you go into camp and you're like no one wants to play us.
Yeah.
Look at this defense.
Dude, they made some upgrades on the offensive line too, and quietly they kind of figured out the run game a little bit towards the end of last year, but they just had nothing up front for so much, and I think they kind of dug themselves into too big of a hole there. But if Braden Smith works out, they drafted Keelan Rutledge too. I know they added somebody else up front. So like they tried to fix this thing. Oh yeah, they got Wyatt Teller as well. So they tried to fix this thing. The defense, if Stroud could just give you enough, if he's not the worst thing you've ever seen, like they're contenders. And like, dude, the whole
they were contenders when he was also the worst.
Right. I know. Yeah, he was. I mean, shoot, they lost to a team that made the Super Bowl. That's my spin zone on that one. Even though Drake May did not have, or in the Patriots offense did not play well in that game either. See, like what I get frustrated for this Texans in that game is that their defense absolutely punched New England in the mouth.
Yeah.
Like it was outside of like the couple drives where they were able to move the ball. It was three and outs, turnovers, big plays. They just got nothing on the back end. So hopefully they got enough up front where that doesn't happen again. But man, like look at this defense. Like this is it's like a Madden defense. And if Caden McDonald is who he looked like at Ohio State, like not only is he a run stuffer, but he was also fourth on the team in tackles too, as a 320-pound nose tackle with Arvell Reese and Sonny Styles and Caleb Downs. He was fourth. Like, dude, this could be one of like the all-time defenses, and they're just perfectly structured to play together and how D'Amico wants to play.
All right, let the draft begin.
All right,
Who
Dominique, you have the first pick. You have the first. Yeah, I know. We do. Once the Texans come up, we don't have to spend that much time on them.
Yeah.
All right. All right. First
Dominique,
pick.
you got the first pick. Charles, you have the second pick. I'll go last. Snake draft order. So I'll go 3 and 4. We'll have a pick at the turn each time. You're on the clock, Dominique.
All right. I got the Los Angeles Rams with a legendary, the highest score in the history of the Vibe rankings. The Rams are my first choice. The vibes are incredibly high. I feel like we talk about it every show. Everyone knows everything there is to know. By the time we air this show, they might have officially added Aaron Donald, which it feels like he unofficially has already rejoined the team. There's nothing about this team, with the exception of the fear of injury to their quarterback. The vibes are so high. They were arguably the best team in football last year, neck and neck with the Seahawks, who ended up winning the Super Bowl. And they added the best defensive player in history and two really good, one great corner and one good corner. Like, they just so damn good. The vibes are really high right now. Quarterback is not broken. Receiver is not in trouble. They're good.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen from Rams training camp, we might need to hope that QB1 doesn't stay broken or doesn't get broken.
Yeah,
you know.
Right. Yeah,
been a bit of a funny start there for the Rams, but it's hard not to be really excited about this team. I mean, I kind of love the teams that take a little bit of a different approach to roster building, and they had been using their draft picks on college players recently, and then they went back to no, let's just buy, let's go get we don't have corners, let's go buy some corners, let's go get a pass rusher, and I really just love that. I'm not going to wait about this, just trade the assets now. And now, like, when you look at their defense, they've been an interesting unit because I think they've been coordinated well without having the horses all the time. When you see they rank really well in efficiency stats, but then when you watch them play against a good offense, don't have quite enough here, but they should now.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. Like, their linebacking core is not perfect. It's like if you were to nitpick a weakness on the defense, it would be there. Like the defensive line might be historic. Like you said, Dominique, I think you slipped in. They might have traded for the best defensive player of all time.
Oh, did I slip that in?
Yeah, they might have traded for the best defensive player of all time, and then someone even better might be unretiring. Like that is when you just in terms of greatness of this, it's crazy what the amount of talent it is, and like they didn't just trade for Trent McDuffie, they got his running mate and Jalen Watson, who they know can play well together. And it's just such a well-constructed team. And if I were to nitpick one thing on the vibes, I mean, like the emotional boost of the Garrett and the Donald stuff is undeniable. If I'm going to do one nitpick to take 1 point down, football coaches, they got to be in the office like 18 hours a day, right? Sean McVay a little bit too ripped this offseason. Seeing him on the boat with the 8-pack and
I thought you were going to say drafting a quarterback in the first round threw off the vibes a little bit. Like, no, Sean McVay, a little bit too much beach time.
The dude, maybe 45 minutes less grinding tape because he's hitting like a significant delt workout.
Yeah. Okay. My vibes thing here is Aaron Donald is my favorite football player of all time.
Wow.
And I've been worried about this comeback idea because, hey man, he's 35. He hasn't. I know like he's still Aaron Donald, but he hasn't played in a couple years now. This would have been like the third year that he would have been unretired. I don't care how much you're working out. It's hard to hop back into it, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna go eat a double team. Okay, that sounds pretty tough. And I say this because if I watch Aaron Donald like be like mid or like below average, I'm gonna die. So I don't want to see that happen. And I think we're getting excited because, oh my God, Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be the same level of Aaron Donald that you got last time.
He'll still have some production. All right.
Production.
I mean, he dominated the Super Bowl when he was playing at 260 pounds.
We're going to need a timer on this vibe draft. Since you are committed to going through all 32 teams, we can't all say 3 things about every draft team.
Okay, but that's fine. But this is like the most important team. People are like fitting them for Super Bowl rings already. So like we spent a little extra time on them. Did you also? I had them number 1 on my list. I had them number 1 on my vibes list. Charles, did you?
No, I have them too.
Okay.
Just because I was like,
the draft is falling well to you. You get your number 1 choice.
The last thing I'll say, the detractors would have been the things you talked about. The Ty Simpson pick, the potential Puka injury.
Right.
The potential Puka biting Aaron Donald, maybe not being the same type of guy. All right, you're on the clock, Charles.
Hey, look, Aaron Donald, he'd be good, but I respect him so much for leaving at the top of his game and to come back. If he's not that, I'm going to be suffering like emotionally.
I think he's going to be so good. Anyway, okay. You're on the clock.
2, I'll go Seattle. That was going to be my number 1 team. I mean, that defense, they brought so many guys back. I don't really see. Defense can be volatile, but they should still be like one of the elite units in the league this year. And quietly, I think that the Kubiak loss, like it stings, but they weren't like an elite offense last year. I know Sam had an elite game in the NFC title game, but overall they were about middle of the pack in terms of offense. So this is still a defense-led team. You got the defense back. The offensive line should be better this year. We'll see what happens with Jadarian Price taking over for Kenneth Walker, but I don't know. This one I think they've kind of gotten a little bit underrated to a degree just because the Rams have made so many flashy moves, but I think their vibes are just as good as anybody's right now.
They're second on mine. It's hard to have bad vibes coming off of a Super Bowl and maintaining as much talent as you had there. They had a score of 18 on the vibes list, the second ranked team.
I had them number 2 on my board as well. They're historic for being a great football team with very little drama and very few like public weirdos. Yeah. Like 4th all time in DVOA from last season. And it feels like, sure, there might be issues with the offense that could be a regression candidate without Clint Kubiak. We'll see if it's as creative as it was last year getting JSN going. But Darnold didn't even play that well in the Super Bowl, and he talked about that. Like this team, it feels like they're just a professional football team and have like very few issues. And the Rams, I think it can't be overstated. The Rams stealing the headline in the offseason, great for the vibes for them. They won the Super Bowl and somehow get to go and being like, we're the underdog in our division.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's kind of crazy.
I'm looking at my rankings, and 1 through 3 is probably pretty close to what my power rankings would also be. But at 4, I start to mix it up. So we'll see, Charlie, at 3, who you choose as the 3rd highest vibes going into this season.
We'll get to it later, but I was just thinking, imagine being a Cardinals fan. What the hell
it's one of the funniest things imaginable. We'll get to them at the end.
Yeah, I've got a good bet
third of
about
this
the
draft
Cardinals.
is going
I
to
want to get you guys' input on when we get to them later.
All right. My number 3 team. I had a few options on the board here. I had one that I really liked, but I've dropped them down here. I'm going to take the Bears as my number 3 team. Wow. I think that they are all hype right now. They're all gas coming off of that season. Caleb looks like he's in great shape in camp. The playmakers are going to be ridiculous. They're coming in for the first time, and I don't know how long in Chicago, being like, we have someone who might end up being one of the best quarterbacks in the world. We have someone who we believe in as like the best offensive mind in the sport. We have playmakers everywhere, and like we're just getting started. Like right now, they're still on the ascent, and the vibes for the ascent are maybe the most fun part. Granted, if they don't take a step forward, they could plummet off of this, but I think going into the season, they are so confident about what they have.
That's funny.
Ooh, that's high. That's high. I mean, I would have considered them for my next pick, but I'm concerned that defense could just be terrible this year. Maybe that's off, but like anytime you're doing like the extreme like bend don't break stuff, and they had a guy in Sean Wright who had 1 million interceptions last year, and he was like a bargain bin kind of free agent signing. And I think that kind of goes to show like the overall quality of that unit, because man, like they're like, I remember I think it was the Packers game that was in at Soldier Field, and it looked like the Packers were about to score like 100 points in that game, and then eventually you get like enough points or enough stops where you bend don't break. But it's tough to play like that year after year. I don't think they've made enough upgrades on defense, but like year 2 of this offense should be explosive. Like this is like a fun Madden team kind of, but I don't know if they have everything they need to actually go on a run here.
Yeah. I said the vibes were eerie for this team, and they kind of ended up a middle of the pack, because I do think that you're right about the vibes being high, but I think where we disagree is I think their perception of themselves is closer to the truth than you think it is. I think they come into camp high, excited about the offense, but I think that they know that the team is probably not as well-rounded as it needs to be, and it feels like that's part of it. And there's still questions about Caleb being able to like function in the offense more consistently. I think that they're aware that the expectations and the tension, like the Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams, like all that stuff is building up with Luther Burden and Colston Loveland. Like I think that they're aware that it's building up, and it makes it feel good, but they also seem pretty aware that they're not that good. Yeah. And so like that to me is part of the reasons why I don't think the vibes are as good there, because they're aware of the expectations and know that they're going to need some luck to kind of get there.
I'm going strictly, yeah, that's fair. My second pick. So I have one higher on the board, but I have a feeling I'm going to be able to get this team next time it comes around to me. So I'm going to play the odds here, and I'm going to draft based on how I think you guys are going to pick the vibes. I'm taking the Chargers with the 4th pick. And that's purely because, the Harbaugh-McDaniel combo could be really fun. They could be a really explosive offense, and we haven't seen any injuries from them yet. The tackles seem healthy. I got a little bit scared off because of the hair petting. I'm not going to lie. I might have taken them 3rd, but seeing, Justin Herbert get scratched behind the ears at the 50-yard line, it's like, this has meme potential that if we get to week 6 and Herbert's throwing 3 interceptions, someone's just going to be like, Justin Herbert once this season starts, and it's going to be that.
I don't know if I'm sold on this, like being a great team in terms of talent.
It's August. It's vibes.
August. Okay, so are we doing like how they feel about themselves?
Yes.
Like, no, we can't define it. It's just vibes.
Okay, right. Okay, then see, I think they have really suffered from like a curse of competency over the past few years, because like the year that Herbert got hurt, right? And they suck. And they had the game where they gave up 63 points to the damn Raiders, and they ended with a top 5 pick Joe Alt, you're right back in the playoff race. And like that, like having Herbert there is enough to buoy you. But then like you see when they get to the Texans game, and like the first year Harbaugh was there, it's just like, well, damn, like we were just picking top 5, and it still kind of shows in the roster when you run into a defense like Houston. And even last year when guys start getting hurt, and it was pretty extreme on the offensive line. I mean, they were down like OT 6 by the end of the year, like guard number 5, like guys who shouldn't be playing at that point in the season. Still, they just feel a little bit thin to me. I'm not sure they have like all the reinforcements that they need. The fast rush, I'm a little worried about. I feel like the vibes here that are positive are just like, well, damn, like Harbaugh and Mike McDaniel, that should work. And we've trusted Harbaugh over the years to build these staffs, but the actual quality of the team, I still think you're looking at a spot where you get to the divisional round maybe, and you're like, we still don't have enough here.
Yeah, that might be the case. But I'm too excited. I'm rushing to the board. There's 2 teams that I'm deciding between.
You're not up.
Oh, I'm not? Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's the snake draft. Charles is up.
Yeah.
Damn it. Don't take my team, Charles. Glad you cut me off, Charlie. I was definitely going to say it, and Charles is going to take my team.
Okay, well, probably not, because I think I might go Texans here. which we
Okay.
just talked
got him.
about. So that explains itself. But the defense,
Good pick. Great pick.
I'm a CJ contrarian. I'm still in, and the defense is gonna be crazy. So that's gonna be my pick here.
Dominique, you're on the clock.
All right, this is a risky pick. Like I mentioned before, there are two teams that I like in this spot. But I think right now you can't pass up on the Cowboys at this spot. I think if we're talking about how you feel about a team and how that team feels about themselves, this Cowboys have had an uncommonly uneventful, though eventful offseason. Like normally it's the Cowboys offseason of Jerry manufactured drama. This time we're just going to get good players to address this defense, get a new coach, Christian Parker, right, from the Eagles. Yeah, to help fix this defense. And it just feels good. Like the offense, a lot of people are picking them to be the best offense in football. They have all the talent. I think this just feels really good. Dak's played incredibly well. I think going into Dallas right now, they feel really good about themselves, and they're starting to get some hype that may or may not be warranted, but it's a high vibes team.
What did you have them rated on your board?
They're fourth.
Okay, you got them 6. Good value. Yeah.
I skipped over my third team, and I got them fourth.
I had them at 9 on my board. I mean, this goes wrong. Like the receiver contracts get weird. We get to like the middle of October. Pickens hasn't had a 100-yard game. He's like walking around the sideline being like, "This sucks, trade me." But like
ski mask.
Yeah, or like CeeDee Lamb gets blinded by the one sunny side of the field and takes one off the helmet and then just is pointing up at Jerry Jones and like his box being like, "What the?" But I think you're right. Like the Cowboys vibes are shockingly not dramatic right now.
Yeah, I've really been enjoying this CD campaign where he's talking about, I got to practice where I can't see because Jerry likes having the thing, the blinds open for the games, which people, not enough people have known this really that I've realized this, but since the World Cup, they can close them. Like they just choose not to.
They
like
close them for concerts.
Yeah, when Beyonce was there, they closed it. When the World Cup was there, they closed it. But it's really just as simple as Jerry thinks it looks dope. And that's that,
Didn't Jerry said that God deserves to watch the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what he used to say when it was a hole right in the top, but these holes are on the side.
Yeah, it was funny because I remember when the stadium was first built, people were like, "Oh no, they made a mistake." Jerry was like, "No, I did not make a mistake. This is what I wanted for sure." But I really appreciate how CD's just being like very practical about this. Like, got to change this, but not so much. I'm not gonna take this money now, so I'm just gonna do my little thing here on the side. But I really do think that it's been an interesting year now for the Cowboys because I thought they really bounced back nice from the Micah trade by getting Quinnen Williams. But the problem was you get Quinnen Williams. He's an immediate, huge plus to your defensive line. He played very well, basically back almost to peak Jets levels. But your defense was still real bad. It was still really bad even with him. So whether they made enough changes, I don't know. But they should be able to rush the passer and score a lot of points. That's always fun.
I love it. Dominique, your second pick.
Denver Broncos. Yeah.
I had them lower.
Yeah, I thought you would. And you're real negative on the relationship between the quarterback and the head coach.
No, but I'm not because they made Davis Webb the play caller. I think it's actually cool that Sean Payton was gave up play calling because he's this is Bo Nix his guy. I had them slightly lower because of the regression because they were 11-2 in one-score games.
Yeah, I think adding. And this is where the intersection of power rankings and vibes meet is I think adding Waddle to that incredible team that has quite possibly the best O-line in football and an awesome defense, adding Waddle to that feels like this Super Bowl expectations, a team that thinks that they would have gone to the Super Bowl if they didn't have a fluke injury to their quarterback last year. I think that things feel good right over there right now. So I like this team. And I mean, I'm a little bit biased to my previous teams. I love the Broncos. Denver's great.
I think I had them 11th, so I didn't have them that far down the list. I think they're solid. I think they're gonna be a really good team. And it's to your point, if the Waddle thing works, if they're able to get a little bit more explosion out of the run game, this defense, we know defense can regress year to year, but they're kind of what you see is what you get. They play man defense. They play man. Surtain erases people. Riley Moss is really good out there. You might get more from Jahdae Barron. The Allen and Benito combo, like they're really good players. Like to me, that seems like roughly as stable of a defensive situation as it can be. So part of this is like the vibes are how good do you think Bo Nix is? Yeah. Like really, really what it comes down to.
He was awesome in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. It was a shame when that injury happened. Cause it's just like, damn, like you guys, they really were good enough to I think go. They have probably a better shot than New England against Seattle. And then you just like, damn, you gave up one touchdown in that game, and it came off of like the dumbest interception or fumble that only happens because your backup quarterback's in the game. So like they're right there. The offense should be really good. I think it's pretty cool when like a coach like Sean Payton is able to prove like at multiple stops, like, no, I'm kind of like the gravitational force here, and it's working. So I'm in on this team. I'm surprised he had them like at 11, because I think as long as Bo's healthy, like they could go on a run, man. Like they could be right back in the AFC title game.
The AFC is such a bloodbath, and particularly the AFC West. Like, it's a crazy, like, no, almost. I mean, there's one situation that would surprise me if the Raiders somehow won the division, but the rest of the teams, there's like nothing like that would surprise me, because it's a really serious conference. Charles. All right, Charles, you're on the clock.
I'm gonna go with a team that gets a lot of seemingly has like pretty high vibes most off seasons, but we're maybe a little bit down here because we fired our longtime head coach, Baltimore Ravens. I kind of love what they did this offseason. You went back and you looked at the offensive line, said not good enough. Spent a first round pick on Big Ione from Penn State. You got a man. What's his name? He just signed like the other day.
Oh, Simpson.
Yeah, I was about no Zay Flowers.
Oh,
Zay Flowers. No, I was about to say Hollywood Brown. I was like, that's close, but like not quite right.
Yeah. Zay Flowers.
Yeah, but I mean, man, like if the offensive line's better, and I thought what was interesting about last year was, you know, as hobbled as like Lamar was at times, like I think he still finished 9th in QBR, and even towards the end, like you still saw, even when he wasn't able to run, still provided a lot of value as a throwers, which, you know, it was something that whatever. That was a long time ago. You know, we've come a long way since
and
then.
they got Trey Hendrickson. Like their biggest problem on defense was they had no pass rush. They had, like that defense is not without talent. It's just they had a big deficiency at one of the most important spots, and they seemingly have addressed it. Like this team feels good. I think the biggest thing about the vibes is Lamar seems happy and bought in completely. Like coming to these offseason things. I know it's not a big thing, but like the star player who has the potential to make some contract decisions at the end of this year seems to believe in the choices that the organization have made.
Dude, Declan Doyle is a really interesting pick for OC. I mean, he didn't call plays last year in Chicago, but everyone raves about him. And we've seen situations like that recently, I think, work out a little bit more. Like Mike McDaniel, he wasn't a big play caller, obviously, in San Francisco, went to Miami, and it worked out. So maybe this is another one of those situations, but like, the Jesse Minter hire was inspiring, I think, but what you said, like the talent that's coming back, because also you're going to get a Nnamdi Madubuike coming back from his neck injury, which, man, they desperately missed him last year, because I think you saw how the depth got exposed. Like, Travis Jones should be healthy. He's a pretty good player. Like you already said, Trey Hendrickson. So, man, like if the secondary can stay healthy, we already know how good Kyle Hamilton is, and they've got a lot of talent at cornerback. Getting excited about the Ravens again, which I'm going to do, I guess, every single year until Lamar retires. But I think when you look at this offense and the defense, like, man, they got a lot of good players here. And I think we feel pretty good about the staff. So I think this is a pretty good steal getting that whatever pick this is.
The 8th pick. Okay, so I'm up on the clock with pick 9. I think I'm going to follow up on this. I'm going to stay in the AFC North. I'm going to take the Cincinnati Bengals. The vibes have been horrendous in that organization for many times. But this is like, you talk about the quarterback being healthy. Joe Burrow being like, we have everything we need. This is the best team I've been a part of. They traded for Dexter Lawrence. They have everyone seemingly healthy at the same time. If the defense is competent, maybe they won't blow the games and be eliminated from the playoffs in week 17 when they're 7-8 and the team clinches the playoffs. Maybe this is the year that everything comes together. And I think the vibes are really positive because it's sort of now or never. And this is the first time where they haven't had an early training camp disaster.
It's still early in
dodged
training
one.
camp.
It's true. Still early. They dodged one recently. But, yeah, no, I think that this is a team that feels like their job's on the line, which that it's like a blueprint season where things don't go well. I agree with you. Like a lot of the decisions that they made and the talent that they have going into the season feels good, but it certainly feels fickle. It feels fickle as hell.
Yeah.
It was a bad moment, a bad run, and it feels like this team completely collapses and implodes. So it feels like some high vibes, but they are built on a pretty shoddy foundation.
Yeah, it's flimsy. I think the defensive line it looks okay, but like Dexter Lawrence last year wasn't quite as good as he was in the past. I think this Boy Mafe situation. It's a good player, but you're about to go from being edge 3 to edge 1. So I don't know. I'm still a little bit worried about the defense, and I think what's kind of funny about the defense is that when you look at just the roster, dude, they have drafted so many players in the top 100 on defense basically since the Jamar Chase pick. Almost all those picks have been on defense. They've missed so many times, dog. So I get a little bit concerned that maybe they don't have the talent, but at least they're just saying, well, we can't figure it out in the draft, so let's just go get Dexter Lawrence, get Boy Mafe, maybe that can fix it for us.
When is Charlie gonna draft the New England Patriots? That's all
Next. Next. That's what I was waiting for. I knew they'd come around, and I'm gonna tell you why.
I know.
Doesn't matter. That's a story for us. That's a story for Aaron Rodgers. For that team, Domonique, you tell me this. In the locker room, are they like, my God, that charlatan Mike Vrabel? No, absolutely not. No. What they're looking at is an improved wide receiver room with Romeo Doubs and A.J. Brown. They're looking at potentially an improved offensive line with a healthier Will Campbell, whose MCL should be mostly intact. Elijah Vera Tucker, if he can stay healthy, and Caleb Lomo, and a quarterback who is historically good at the deep passing. And even if that regresses, like I think Drake May is going to be really, really, really good again this year, be an MVP candidate again. And Vrabel can coach defense. So, I thought it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen when he brought a puppy to the press conference, and that let me know that this team. He's like, all right, guys, give me your best. This is so unserious in a football sense for the locker room, and that made me completely flip on the vibes for them.
See, I thought the puppy was a move that you do when you're rattled. Because if you're cool, man, just go up there and do what you're supposed to do. Why I got to bring a dog with me?
Nick Wright was furious. He was furious. Journalists can't ask tough questions in front of that puppy.
Bro, I sometimes I like, man, like I remember when I worked at the newspaper up here in New York, man, we would have fried his like if you brought a puppy to
it's so ridiculous. It was such a troll move.
Yeah, and like the thing with, I remember when the Vrabel stuff, we were getting the drops every week.
Do you think another one's coming before week
one?
No,
I don't. I don't. Like, and I think one of my buddies asked me, like, is he going to get fired? I'm like, no. Like, if these stop, then like we'll forget unless he wants to bring it back up, which he did with a puppy this week. Because I forgot. I totally forgot that even happened until I saw the puppy, and I was like, Mike, what you doing, dog? Just keep it player. Keep it moving.
Nah, I think it's interesting. I think you make a good point. I'm a little bit worried about the vibes because of the puppy. Because you're right. If you're confident, you walk up in there like, "What up?"
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, ask me what you want to ask me. I don't care.
I did 1 day of therapy. I'm good.
We had
on
things
the
at
third
home.
day of the draft.
I'm sorting that out. But what's happening in here? We playing ball. I mean, that's what I would have thought. But all right, I like that as a choice for you, Charlie. I knew it was coming at some point. You couldn't miss that opportunity.
I told you I knew it would come back around to me.
That's who you were talking about.
Yeah, it's like this is going to come back around to me. I'll get him on the next turn.
All right, Charles.
Am I up? Yeah. I'm going Buffalo.
Yep.
Yeah,
you're next on my board. Great pick.
Yeah, I think they've had a really strong offseason too. Next on my board.
Great pick. It's hilarious. The thing is, he's so serious, Charles. Like Charlie loves the draft. He's so serious. He makes power rankings and lists of all types of things in his life, and he is so serious right now. He's evaluating the way your draft is. Like, yeah, good job, Charles. Good job.
That actually derailed. Great.
I love it.
Good value.
Man. Yeah, but they for a team that like when Terry Pagula had that press conference,
Oh, it was
He just
devastating.
devastating. Just threw everybody under the bus, including Joe Brady. Because when they had the Keon Coleman stuff, he was like, "Well, the staff wanted him," and then they announced that they interviewed Joe Brady like right after that, and then hired him to be the head coach. It's like, do you think this staff is good or what? Because you kind of kept everything the same here except for one guy. But I think if you're going to lose Sean McDermott, getting someone like Jim Leonard definitely matters. And like I think that Sean was still really strong coach last year, especially for what they had on defense. Like they kind of were able to plug a couple of holes there. But I also understand like if that was getting a little bit stale there for you. So I think to switch up the scheme, get some new players in there, like you're going to go like more 3-4 than 4-3. They've tried to get the bodies for it. I don't know like if they're going to get back to doomsday defense, but they shouldn't be the worst run defense again in the league. So you still got Josh Allen, got the offensive line. I mean, it's still a good squad. It's just, are you going to get out of your own way when you need to? Because I think, even Josh has kind of touched on it and said, like, yeah, that Broncos game, that was my fault, dog. Like, you were playing outside your mind. And hopefully that doesn't come back to bite him because this is a Super Bowl team on paper.
This is where I win the draft right here with these 2 back-to-back picks.
Okay.
Jacksonville and Philadelphia.
Damn.
Oh, Jacksonville was next on my board. Philly was way down. Go ahead.
Yeah, Jacksonville and Philadelphia are my choices. I mean, Jacksonville is coming off of the way they were playing the end of last year. Of course, we don't have to discuss how they stopped running the ball against the Bills team that they were better than in handling. But, like, the way that they were playing offensively towards the end of that season, they get back Travis Hunter, who's gotten 20 pounds heavier and stronger and is going to focus on defense and improve that defense. I think that this team is, like, I guess the idea of dark horse is probably doesn't exist anymore because we cover football so much now that there's somebody out there saying that the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to win the Super Bowl. But I think that they are a legitimate kind of dark horse Super Bowl contending team. The way that Trevor Lawrence played last year, like the wild plays got my attention. Like I forgot how much of an athlete and what type of arm strength and accuracy he has. And when you have a quarterback like that who's playing the way that he was playing, and talent everywhere, and a young coach, like we spend so much time on Ben Johnson. Like what Liam Cohen did down there is pretty damn impressive too. So I think coming into this year on the heels of last year, they feel like they don't know how good they can be, and I think the vibes are really high for this team. They could have gone much higher, honestly.
Yeah, one of my good friends, John Shipley, he covers the Jaguars, and every year he's always like, might want to slow your roll here a little bit. But this year he's like, yo, like I think they might actually have like some juice here. And I think what's interesting here with the Jaguars is that Jacoby Myers trade, it kind of changed everything for them because you got an adult in the room, and then guys who are wide receiver threes, might get to actually play that role. So then you see Parker Washington blow up. So if they can get Brian Thomas Jr. just to get back to what he looked like as a rookie, like you're really, really cooking there. And like the defense was great last year. Hopefully Trayvon Walker can stay healthy because he's like the hammer they need. But man, like this team, they were close last year, and I think they might have enough in that division where obviously they can be one of the top 2 teams and then try to push for winning the thing. And once you got a home game in the playoffs, who the hell knows what can happen.
Yeah, and short on the Eagles. The Eagles are loaded talent-wise, one of the best defense in the league, great offensive line, talent all over the field on offense, and they had it appears that they've had a real heart-to-heart, come to Jesus, this what you got to do conversation with the quarterback, and I think that that's a good thing. And so I think that they're pretty high right now. So I wouldn't have said they were top, but I think they're not a bad vibes team. They're not a middle vibes team. So they're the end of the top vibes team, and they are legitimate championship contenders, of course.
You gotta point out too, like sometimes there's vibe additions by vibe subtractions, and the vibes between AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts were off.
Yeah, they were
and
off.
Whoever you blame for that situation, of someone who wouldn't throw to the middle of the field, who had 74 yards on rollouts the entire season.
Keep going.
I think that refused to throw to a second or third read, pretty much on par with the rookie quarterbacks from last year. However you want to break that down, look, handsome guy, and he's still there.
Very,
really hot. And the vibes, I think they're. I think you're right. I think they're pretty good.
better.
Jalen Carter just got paid. It's always good vibes when someone gets paid. They'll have him under. So, I guess the vibes are pretty good. I had them as a mid-tier 5 team.
Yeah.
Well, yes. Do they have to be good? Like we're at the middle of the draft.
They don't have to be good.
Okay.
They don't have
can
to
be
be good. I think the fact that they are good is what lifts them out of the mid-tier. But that's fine. You
But they've been good with bad vibes before.
Yeah.
Last year, they were a good team with bad vibes. 3 years ago, a good team with bad vibes.
No.
Nick Sirianni, he feeds off the bad vibes. So I'm a little worried about them that they're a little stable going into this year. They might not have the friction they need to get across the finish line.
You think they're not gonna find some frick? They're
They're
gonna
going to find some.
They drafted all these guys to play in the middle of the field. Is the friction when those guys don't touch the ball?
I think the friction might be those 2 Georgia Bulldogs making about $300 million combined between them. We'll see how that goes the next couple of years.
All right, Charlie.
No, Charles.
Oh, Charles.
Oh, okay.
I got confused.
Cool.
My bad.
Perfect. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings here.
They're next on my board. Great pick.
Yeah.
Great pick.
You guys share the board.
Yeah, gotta share the board. But I don't think there's been a more drastic quarterback upgrade this offseason than going from JJ McCarthy to Kyler Murray. And also, I've stopped arguing online a lot, but I will say I've kept tabs on some of these Kyler Murray takes that I'm seeing because I'm like, dog, you guys are talking about him like last year is the only thing you've ever seen from Kyler Murray. So, guys, not even 30 years old yet. Is he a perfect quarterback? Absolutely not. Like we know enough to say that, but we have also seen multiple seasons where he's gotten off a 10-game stretch. We're like, is this the MVP of the league? And I don't think athletically he's that far off from that. And sometimes you just need a little change of scenery. So I think getting away from Arizona, just getting a fresh start, you get to go to Minnesota, where everybody needs this to work out, from the head coach to the wide receiver to the quarterback to the defensive coordinator who's trying to get a head coaching job. So while there's a lot of pressure, I do think that he's a good fit for this offense. And just when you're going from, even if he's the 14th best quarterback this year, that's a massive improvement from where they were last year with JJ McCarthy. And from the training camp stuff I've seen, it seems like Kyler's established himself as a starter.
We are doing all of these vibes as of the moment, and I was considering this as I was doing it. It's training camp. I feel like vibes can swing a lot, and this team is a team that I think without Grenard and without Harrison, and with a question mark at quarterback, because I've been high on Kyler too, but we have to accept that at this point it's a question mark. I was thinking that this team could come out of training camp if was the tackle they got? Caleb Banks from Florida.
That's my guy.
Yeah, he's ridiculous.
So talented.
If he is as good as they had hoped and they find a way to manage this defense without Harrison, and Kyler is somewhere close to his best version of himself, they could come out here feeling great. If all that goes the other way, and we're talking something different. But we all kind of assume that Brian Flores is always going to have a good defense.
Right.
But I think going into camp, it's a high vibes team.
It's also you gotta realize, Domonique, I can't even imagine. If you were playing on that team last year and you're we have a Super Bowl ready defense, we're going to blitz a lot. And then it's week 3 and you're what the hell is this? My quarterback's a meme. We gave up Sam Darnold. He's about to go win the Super Bowl. That was incredibly, I have to imagine, incredibly dejecting for a very professional defense.
Very low.
Very low. and it's for the players on offense too. Yeah. But I did get worried about the depth pieces, I guess, on defense this year. But there's been so many Brian Flores' defense where I look at it in August, man, I don't know who the hell these guys are. and then all of a sudden here's Andrew Van Ginkel with 5 interceptions on screens, So if there's any defensive coordinator I trust to kind of just throw out the guys and figure it out, it's him. And now it's just all right. The problem here is the expectations in Minnesota. If I was a fan, they should be high. Yeah. Because they went 9-8 last year. And, they won a game on Christmas against the Lions where they threw 3 passing yards. The rest of the team, they feel ready. Yeah. So there is a lot of pressure on Kyler. There's a lot of pressure on KOC. But I think it's enough of an upgrade where they should be pushing for a division win as long as they can stay healthy.
I love it. My next pick. Can't believe they're still on the board. because I think the vibes are great there. I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs. This is the first time that they are not under an immense amount of pressure in 8 years. Genuinely, where they don't need to be the prohibitive favorite. They don't need to play like they're going for a 4-peat of Super Bowl performances. And a lot of this is gravy. Like, this is the swan song. This is the final chapter of Mahomes and Kelsey, most likely. I think the fact that Mahomes is healthy right now is shocking, where at the end of last season when it was ACL and LCL, we thought he was going to miss a lot of time, maybe not be himself, and he's ahead of schedule there. And even from the draft, like, they were like, okay, this is a gap year. They're going to send out Trent McDuffie. And with a Spags defense, they are bringing in Mansour Delane, who's the top corner in the draft. And I think, Dominique, your opinion of him really flipped when you saw he had the best draft suit. And he ran a better 40 time. And Peter Woods, like, this is someone who was in contention before the season for the number 1 pick in the draft. That Clemson team completely fell apart. Everyone was underdrafted from that Clemson team. And maybe, like, obviously his combine and spark stuff wasn't off the charts, but he's the type of guy with the talent that if he's in a bad situation, and I know this as a Commanders fan, like, if he gets drafted to a bad situation, the career goes off the rails. In a Spags defense playing next to Chris Jones to start his career, that could be an incredible value pick for them. And so I think the vibes are going to be better than expected. And that's without talking about the fact that Matt Nagy is out of there. Eric Bieniemy's back, and like, they maybe for the first time have some outside of the Andy Reid run game coming in. They bring in Kenneth Walker, and they're gonna have like a potentially powerful running game coming off of his time in Chicago. So I think the vibes are pretty good.
I'm realizing that the vibe draft actually, because it actually tells us more about ourselves than it does anything.
I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
Because I'm hearing, me too. I'm listening to him like, good vibes there? Really? Like, I think this team that's a perennial Super Bowl contender is the first time since Patrick Mahomes walked on the field that they are not in. Like, I get Eric Bieniemy may be an upgrade from Nagy, but Eric Bieniemy has an all-field situation that I feel like is going to impact the season.
A little distracted.
So like, yeah, there's no way.
My Chiefs take here is, bro, this defense could be terrible.
Yep, it could be.
Anytime,
and it doesn't matter,
bro. L'Jarius, when you go to L'Jarius Sneed's like Pro Football Reference page, there's going to be a red 38, a blue 38, and then another red 38. When you're on the second red 38, that's bad. You shouldn't be back here as a starter for this team. Based on how things went, they've missed like on a handful of picks on defensive line. Like, you need guys like R. Mason Thomas to step up this year. Man, like, they lost a lot of talent. Like, if Spags can pull this one off, like, that's a real deal, like, Hall of Fame type move. And then on offense, man, like, these receivers, I'm not sold on it yet. Like, Rashee Rice is completely untrustworthy, and I say this as an untrustworthy fellow myself. Sometimes back when I was that age, can't be trusted, can't do it. But like,
don't like rehabbing in jail.
That's not great vibes in my opinion. But like, the offensive line, if they can stay healthy, should be pretty good. You got Kenneth Walker, you got Mahomes, so like they could squeeze out another season where you look at the end like, damn, like, they were top 5 in points per drive, but it looked like it was absolute hell to get there. So I'm still out on this team. They just don't have enough talent.
Overdrafted them, Charlie. You're up next.
All right, I'm taking the Packers. Same vibes every year in August. That professional organization, they're going to be pretty good. Jordan Love, hope springs eternal that he'll be one of the best. I mean, he's obviously a very, 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 very good quarterback, that he enters the elite of the elite. Whenever Micah Parsons comes back, that will be a huge boost. But they're just a stable professional organization that's going to be a good football team.
We're starting to get into the low vibes teams.
No,
we're starting to get close. We're starting to get close.
Well, I can't wait for the low vibes. The low vibes is the best part.
I think that this is a low of the middle type of vibes team, because like, they were really bad at defense without Micah Parsons, and he's not coming back. And when he comes back, he won't be completely healthy. Their coach was on the hot seat a minute ago. Like, I don't feel like in the toughest division with high expectations. I don't think anybody. This is funny that you went from the Chiefs. The vibes are so good because there's no pressure to a team that is like a lot of pressure, and the vibes to me don't feel as good. But you can have good vibes in both situations. But those two situations feel like, for me at least, and like, that's what I said. It feels like you're telling you something about yourself, and And for me, these vibes feel yucky.
Yeah, a little low. They weren't a great defense with Micah Parsons either. You know, like in the second half of games, they were not even really in the second half. Like just over like past the first quarter, they're one of the worst defenses in the league, and then that got worse with Micah. So I don't know. Maybe the DC loss is addition by subtraction, but still not great vibes. I think on the defensive side.
You're on the clock.
I don't think I want to be. I will go with. I'll just take the Steelers.
What? The Steelers? They were last on my board. What? They were 32nd.
Oh, I don't think they're not the worst, but are we in the 20s now? Like
no, we've taken 16 teams.
16.
Did you see Aaron Rodgers' press conference?
I did, and it made me feel really bad. But so maybe I'm just at the part where all these are bad vibes teams. Because I'm like, who the hell?
I just said a second ago that we're getting into the bad vibes.
Right, there's not that many good teams. And every year by the past 2 seasons by November, we're like there's so many more teams losing each year. So this is the bad point.
You did red, blue, red 38. We have green and yellow now, black and yellow, 12 and McCarthy.
That's right, and it's going to be terrible. But I think like all these teams looking forward, it's Detroit's still on the board. Damn it.
Yeah, they were next.
No, but I'm not gonna renege though. I'll take the Steelers. I'll take the Alabama.
This is amazing. This is an amazing pick. This is like Tyson Alualu going 4th in the draft.
Their defense is kind of fun. That's all I got.
Yeah, their defense is
old.
They're old. Yeah, they're old.
They're old. Their quarterback is old. So
he's a loon.
They are a much.
Also, he was bad last year too.
Yeah, they're a low vibe team for me and Charlie, and it's the way that like the expectations I think are kind of low. I think, and I can go through my whole my whole grading chart. It's like the expectations are low, the quality of the team is mid to me, and you can make up for it in some places if there's like a lot of expectation like for the future, because I think like. The Saints would fall into the category of a team that has high future expectations.
Is that your next pick?
No. This team also doesn't have high super. Yeah, the Saints are my next pick. Doesn't have high expectations.
They were second on my board. Good pick.
Yeah.
Doesn't it just feel like they're exiting the dark ages of cap hell and they're like, well, we have a coach we like, a QB with excitement, and some good receivers?
Yeah, and the talent on. a good offensive line. They went and got
puke.
Etienne. Yeah, this is
H-Chan.
upsetting. That's right, H-Chan. I forgot. We were pronouncing it wrong. I'm sorry to offend your Atlanta sensibilities, but this team feels good. Like they have a quarterback, they have a coach that they know is going to improve whatever quarterback they have. They have a quarterback that they think could be the guy. It seems like the expectations are going up and the quality of the team is going up, but the view for this team in the coming like future seems pretty high. So I really like this team.
You have another pick. We can buzz through a bunch of these now.
All right.
When there's not.
Yeah. Lions. They got question marks on the defense, but I think generally when you have that coach, that the vibes are going to be high, and they still have an incredibly talented offense as soon as they get Gibbs back on the field. You're up, Charles, unless you guys want to add to my vibes choices.
No, I wish I had taken them. I'm really sitting with this Steelers pick. So, like, what number team are we on right now? Because I keep feeling like we've done
we have 13 more teams. We've gotten through 19.
Okay.
Let's rattle them. Okay. Rattle them.
Okay, rattle them. I'll go Tampa Bay. Right. Look, Vita Vea wants out.
Really low on my board.
You're falling apart at the end of the draft.
They're all bad, though. There's only like 6 good teams. They're all bad at this point.
There are teams with worse vibes, or there are teams with better vibes than these teams. They might be worse teams, better vibes than the Steelers and the Bucs.
Well, I mean, look, the Bucs, their quarterback a month before the season said he was disrespected by the franchise, and their window.
Enough. Baker Mayfield had been disrespected for 10 years. Dog, not really. Like, you got to come back after almost being out of the league, man. It ain't been that bad for you. Promise. But I look at the defense. I think they have a chance to improve. I don't think Vita Vea will be going anywhere. Maybe my read on that is off.
I forgot he also demanded a trade. That's not good.
Whatever.
Levante David gone.
You've chosen these teams over your Falcons, by the way.
Oh, hell yeah. You saw what happened yesterday, Jalen Walker? Hell no.
I agree, but this vibes ain't that much better in Pittsburgh and Tampa, but okay.
No, right. Like, we're all bad here. And that's enough about, yeah, whoever I just picked.
So I'm going to take the Raiders next.
Yeah, I got them pretty high, too.
New coach.
Yep.
New quarterback. The Max Crosby thing, a little weird, but good vibes.
Yeah. I like the Raiders as, I mean, they're high on the expectations. I mean, they're low on expectations, but high on the future. They got some pretty good players and a revamped defense. So, yeah, I think the vibe's pretty high there. All right.
My next pick coming around the turn is the Titans. Because Cam Ward, he might be a guy. They brought in a lot of confidence. They got Carnell Tate. They got Wan'Dale Robinson. They paid a lot to improve the offense. Decent vibes. Up and coming vibes.
Yeah, I should put them. I definitely, now I'm looking at the teams again. I would have put them up ahead of the Steelers. Yeah, my only prep was like, there are 32 teams in the NFL. Okay,
you're doing a great job. The show's much better with some curveballs.
Yeah. Then I'm looking back. It's like, man, I don't give a about the Steelers.
That was such out of nowhere.
I'm just like, the vibes. Maybe the vibes are high in Pittsburgh because they're always high. Just cult-like stuff. Like when you see everyone just conform and fall in line with whatever's going on. But it's my turn again, right?
No, you're on the clock. Yeah.
Oh, sheesh, man. Man, oh man.
So the Commanders are a potential. The Panthers. I'm giving you a glimpse at what's on my board now.
I'll take the Commanders here just because you got the much needed Bobby Wagner upgrade with Sonny Styles. I think that's a perfect fit for Dan Quinn's defense. I think it's going to alleviate a lot of problems. Probably still won't be great. You still could use some more weapons, I think, on offense, but. It's another one of the seasons where Dan just fired the staff and the onus is on him, which happened a couple of times in Atlanta too. So we'll see what happens here. I don't think the vibes are like super high, but I like Jaden Daniels and I like the picks they made in the draft this year.
If you would have asked me, I guess a week ago, I'd have been much lower, but they added Diggs. Instant vibe improvement.
Right.
That's a quality vibe team when you
he's going back home. We'll see how that works.
Yeah. It actually makes a huge difference to have just a competent number 2 receiver. I was trying to think of like what the legitimate over-under is for him on yards, and it's like 875. Above that, good season from him. But it's just like having a second professional receiver is huge, and maybe Brandon Ayuk will stop stalking the team. Like that's distinctly possible.
Man, he needs to work on himself.
With that said, we are one like Jaden Daniels injury away from being 32nd in vibes. To being like, holy, we're
all
back.
These teams are.
But we're back in the Snyder era.
Jaden Daniels is such a uniquely injury-prone player that it feels a little bit more dangerous.
It's so tenuous because if he's back in like week 6, my chest is going to be popped out, and I'm going to be like, the haters. I believed the entire time. He's our savior. But if he misses like 2 weeks after a hit against a team in the middle of the season, I'm going to be like, this is bad.
That's the thing is like, it doesn't even have to be a serious injury. It's just like, if he has any sort of like misses a play or starts limping, people are going to lose their minds.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. So I'm on the clock. My next 2 picks. I'll take the Panthers.
Nice.
We almost beat the Rams in the postseason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
so that's
you got to embody the team.
From the Okay, Bryce Young might not be good, but if you're down 2 scores...
He also might be.
If you're down 2 scores and Ice Young comes out, kind of nasty. Tet McMillan, he was good.
Yeah, he's good. Very good.
And so at this point in the draft, if we're talking about a hope springing eternal, there's not much there, so I'm going to take them. And then coming around the turn, this might shock you.
Can't be shocked at this point.
It's from the fans' perspective, I'm going to take the Jets. This season doesn't matter. There's a good chance everyone's going to be out of the building. Darren Muji has set us up to be in the Arch Manning sweepstakes. And I can tell you this as a Commanders fan, it's 4-play season for them. Like at this point, they haven't, next April, But right now, the anticipation is the best part.
Anticipation of what? What do you?
I'm getting a
Arch
quarterback.
Manning.
I'm getting a quarterback.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I could envision a scenario where they're just like a hair too good for that to happen.
Yeah.
A hair. Because I mean, look, like I
mean,
think
they
the
have a
Jets
lot
are
of
very
picks
fun.
though, also, right? Like,
Yeah,
they
they have
have
a ton of
yeah.
picks. Yeah.
I think. Yeah, go ahead.
I think the Jets are funny though, because like you see a team like where they're so like completely awful in one area, and they were on defense last year, where everyone says that can't happen again, and you kind of maybe I don't want to say lose sight of the rebuild, but you go get Devondre Sweat, Minka Fitzpatrick, Demario Davis, just veteran, established like real life NFL players. So I think they're going to improve enough on that side of the field, on that side of the ball, where maybe they could win like 3 or 4 games and just knock themselves out. You know.
Yeah, I like that choice. Go ahead. Sorry, you got a back-to-backer.
No, I did. That was my second pick. Charles, you're on the clock.
Oh man, I don't want to pick the Falcons. I don't want to pick
All right, so you got
I'll pick the 49ers. They're still on the board, right?
Wow.
They're real. We're in the gutter. We're in the gutter, man.
They had the 5th worst vibes on my board.
I know the vibes are very bad here. Very bad here. The head coach got into a car accident. You've already got like 20 players out. They think it's a conspiracy theory going on that's really gaining legs. It's bad here. But hey, they did just go like 13-4 last year with one of the best offenses in the league. So it might just be like, Kyle, if you can just take some Toradol and get back out there, we're still gonna be able to figure something out. I think him still being the head coach of this team is worth so much that I will graciously add them to my squad here at the end of the draft.
I got to be honest. I decided before you said anything that I was gonna react as if you blew the pick again. because we had developed a bit and I liked it. But yeah, we're at this point now where there are no bad picks. It's the bottom of the barrel. I do think that these are
the best picks. I love this.
Yeah, I had them lower and like it's their team is just not in good shape. And then the reason why, like if you had to pick one reason why this team has been good in the past decade, it's Kyle Shanahan. Like, we don't know what he looks like. We don't know how his brain is functioning. We have no idea. Like they showed up and a guy they just met is like, "Hey, I'm your head coach." Like that can't be good. Oh, and I'm not even gonna get into what the guy. Yeah, I'm not even gonna just talk about how they were like, "Oh yeah, you look familiar. I don't remember where I see you from." Hold up, put a little something on your nose. Oh, that's right. Yeah, those are not good vibes, sir. So
no, they're not. But you couldn't be worse. You could be the Falcons.
The team that I've chosen at this point, so I'm surprised that they're the second New York team, but it's justifiable. But I think the Giants we're not in the good vibe situation anymore, but they got a new head coach, which is exciting. A lot of new talent, or a lot of talent on the defensive front. Like if you squint, there's a way that you think that this year goes well, and I think that they believe that they have their quarterback and like the future, and they have a coach that's going to stabilize things. I think the excitement or vibes is that this year doesn't have a lot of pressure or high expectations, but they seem like they believe that they have some good foundation. So we're near the bottom, but it's better than San Francisco.
There's an interesting one. Yeah, they got. Go ahead. Sorry, Charles.
We got Matt Nagy, Brian Callahan, Greg Roman, Brand Trust. We're at the bottom of this.
I mean,
not a great staff. Not a great staff.
We had the Jackson Dart Abdul Carter situation. We had Cam Scadaboo not being able to do a backflip at Fanatics Fest. Also, he doesn't think CTE or asthma exist. And the big
one, that guy doesn't think that stuff. Really?
It's unbelievable. And then the big one of this is just we don't know if Malik Neighbors' knee is going to be healthy.
Yeah, it's a bad vibe situation.
Their best player.
It's a bad vibe situation, but apparently it's better than the Falcons. Who is my next choice? Give me the Falcons.
There's nothing to say here.
Yeah, I mean,
they paid people. That's cool.
Yeah,
they got these shiny toys.
That was cool. Yeah, that was cool. I was joking yesterday before the Jalen Walker news broke that like all I wanted this season was Pitts, London, Bijan extensions. I got them. Cool, season success, and then it ended up being not a success because Jalen Walker tore his ACL yesterday. I mean,
terrible.
this defense, they might have the worst front seven in the league. Like, it's really thin. It's really grim. But hey, if you're a college football fan, they're talking about Harold Perkins potentially being their starting edge rusher. So whatever.
Do you remember him as a freshman before the ACL
It was
tear?
so exciting.
Unbelievable.
It was exciting. It was exciting. Now we got two lefties.
I think the optimistic view for this team is that they are going to be. They got a new head coach, and Matt Ryan took over. Kevin Stefanski's coach, Matt Ryan, took over the organization. The view is that they are closing the chapter on the previous situation, and they're getting ready to build something new, and they're going to be going after a quarterback, which it seems pretty clear that
they'll have a shot. They'll have a shot. But
I think that's the optimistic view. Is like we still have all this talent, and we'll get a shot at a quarterback next year.
Yeah, I mean, they still got a couple solid players up front on the O-line. Like, the run game. Like, I think Bijan's in store for a huge year, especially we saw what happened with, the running back, Quinshon Judkins last year with the Browns, and, like, how good their screen game was. And now you can put Bijan Robinson in there. But, that's about it. Like, they're talking about Jack Strand, like some UDFA from Minnesota Moorhead, looking good as quarterback one during training camp. I'm hoping to complete the Manning legacy by having Arch be a Falcon next year and making Archie very upset about that.
How would you feel if Baker's a Falcon next year?
I have no interest in that.
I can't wait to make Baker a Falcon next year.
Not good enough. It's not good enough.
Now we are
Jalen Hurts.
Now you're just being offensive.
Am I on the clock?
Yeah, you're on the clock.
Okay.
2 picks, and we're in your part of the show, baby. We are.
Come on.
Oh yeah, let's
Good
go.
time to
these
shine.
These are my last 2 picks.
I got to be honest though. Charles came in and stole some of these early.
So I mean, I want to. I guess I'll take this legitimately. I'll leave the last.
I think
two
the
picks
last
for you
3
guys.
teams are like undeniable for me at least.
Yeah, they are. So I'll take the Colts here.
Yeah.
They're stuck in mud. Like, what are they? They're all in. They gave up all their draft capital. Daniel Jones is coming off a broken leg and a torn Achilles.
Back soon, though. He's back earlier than you expected.
Yeah, he's supposed to be back, and at least they have Jonathan Taylor, but it just feels like a team that's all in, but they have nowhere to really go with what they went all in with, which is a pretty depressing spot to be in football. But maybe they'll overachieve. And then my second one, the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh.
Insane camp low lights. Marvin Harrison drops. Jeremiah Love bad reports. It's all like Jacoby Brissett had one of the funniest holdouts in NFL history. They're talking about
That's
Carson's
my guy.
back.
I respect.
I loved it.
That stuff's all bad. But like, positive. Walter Nolan was sick when he played last year.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
So that's about it. The vibes are horrendous.
Yeah, I feel like I was like the lone person that wasn't like what wasn't the biggest Jeremiah Love fan, just in the sense that like he's good, but like he ain't Saquon. I don't really feel like I need to take him at 3. But I remember at the start of the show, I wanted to bring a poll to you guys, or a line that I've been setting with some of my group chats. How many divisional games does Mike LaFleur win as the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals? Over under 1.5.
Yeah.
His whole tenure or this year?
No, this year. I say
No. Whole tenure.
Oh, so you got him getting fired soon?
Year 2, basically.
Well,
year 2.
he's gonna lose to. He has a chance to beat San
Francisco one time.
Maybe he has a chance to beat them once. Maybe I would take under if you ask me.
Dude, he could get fired without winning a divisional game. I think that's entirely on the table here. They're so far away, dog.
Yeah.
They're so far away.
That's so funny in that perspective.
That is really funny. And Nathaniel Hackett's the offensive coordinator, which is
It's a loyal bunch over there.
endless comedy. Yeah, I was shocked, and I know we're at the end of the draft, but I thought this was such an obvious last vibes team. Charlie, I'm gonna need you to explain to me who you had as the last vibes and how the vibes are worse. Like,
Well, the last vibes I had was the Steelers because of Aaron Rodgers. They were 32nd on my board.
Okay,
No.
got you. Yeah, so
And then-
I had Arizona last, and I got Cleveland and Miami are the only teams left, right?
Yeah, those are the
I'll
only
take
two
that.
left.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty bad vibes teams, but I think Arizona vibes are worse.
Or better.
No, I think they're worse.
Didn't you just pick them?
No, I
No,
picked
Charlie
Arizona.
picked
Oh, okay, Charlie
Charlie
picked
picked
them.
I think Arizona's actually worse, but so I like the way it felt to me. I got Cleveland and Miami. I think you guys already know. Like, it's really not much to talk about. Cleveland vibes were bad because their team is bad with no hope, and it got even worse because they traded away one of the greatest defensive players of all time without much hope for the future. This is another team tanking again for a draft pick, and it's possible you could make the argument that they're the last vibes team in part because is Deshaun Watson their starting quarterback now? That can't be good for the vibes.
No. Yeah, like Cleveland. I was torn between Cleveland and Miami for like my last spot. But I saw
Miami,
the
Miami spiel.
I think what Miami is doing should be illegal.
Yeah.
Like,
Signing a man and then getting rid of him.
no, bro, they have $180 million in dead cap. There's only 300. That's 60%. How are you like? You can't ask people to come to a game and spend money. Yeah. Like when you can only pay 40% of a full NFL cap space. Get the hell out of here. Like that to me is like actually bad stuff because you're still going to make money off the rev sharing and stuff like that. It's still going to be a profitable thing to do. But competitive wise, no, this is nonsense. I'm rooting for Malik Willis. I'm glad he got the bag. He's got no chance with what they put around him, and they absolutely know it, and it's disgusting. So, ban the Dolphins. They're going to be my last team.
Yeah, that's why they were below the Cardinals. I'm with you.
Yeah, I like it. I like the way that this draft came out. I like the way that this process went. Charlie, it was a lot of fun. I'm happy we did it. I feel good about this. I don't know if it works as a power rankings, but it is our vibe rankings right now. A lot of fun. Thanks a lot, Charles. When you are ready to announce your new endeavor, please come back on the show so we can promote and encourage people to watch it. Thanks again, Charlie. Thanks to Dobby. I think it was Dobby or was it Fred? Which one was it?
Both of them.
All right, thanks to Dobby and Fred for the soundtrack in the background. Thanks to all the great producers, Kevin O'Brien, Brian Madigan, Megan McHale, and Ryan Cortez. We out. I'm going to get better at that eventually. I just got to do it more.
This is the Domonique Foxworth Show.